welcome back to my channel. My name is Tiffany. If you're new here, welcome. Today we're doing the glitter skull glam. Not entirely sure what I'm calling this look yet, but also please excuse the fact that I look like a little boy with my wig cap on. As you saw, I did put a wig on the intro, and it's just 10 times easier to put the wig cap on first. So that's the best explanation I can give you for how terrible I look. So we did go in with the Benefit Porefessional to fill in the majority of my pores, because we all know your girl got big pores, and unfortunately I was having a breakout this day, so I did go in with the Tarte Shape Tape to try and help cover it and give that extra coverage, as well as use it to cover up the majority of the red pigment that's on my skin. Covering up the red pigment will make it a lot easier later on when we cover the majority of my face with the white paint. So now we're going in with the NYX Jumbo Pencil in white, obviously. We're going to use this to map out the skull and where we want things to be. So basically I'm just mapping out the parts that we're going to be filling in black. That way I know that I can fill in all the remaining space with the white paint. So this is actually only the second time I've ever done a skull look for Halloween in my life. So I kind of was basically just going off of memory here, so this might not be exactly what everyone else does when you look at a skull makeup tutorial, but it is what it is, right? So basically here we're just mapping out the cheekbones, and this is where the teeth are going to go. As you just saw there, I made a mistake and I wiped it away with my finger, which would be 10 times harder if you mapped out this part of the tutorial with a black eyeliner instead of a white pencil. So we're gonna go in with this, I don't know if it's mehron or mehron. Anyway, it's the clown paint. It's like a cream base, and here I was deciding what type of brush to use would be best. But I ended up going with this like foundation brush, like a flat foundation brush. This was a cream based product. I ordered it off Amazon. It came relatively quick, although it wasn't cheap, I could tell you that, for one single paint, but it's fine. It didn't require any water, so I just kind of dug my brush in there a couple times and warmed up the product and just applied it to my face. It is a relatively thick product though, and so that made it not as easy to blend out as I would have liked. So here I'm going to start covering up my mouth. Was this the most comfortable thing ever? No. But this is where we would be putting the teeth, so we wanted to make sure it was super white so that the teeth wouldn't look super see-through. As you can see, I also blended in the white towards the cheekbones because there are going to be teeth back there, but they're not as prominent, but you still want them to be known as teeth. And I'm also going to drag the clown paint down my neck just to try and make this as realistic as possible. Eventually I do, oh, There it is. I do put it on my ears as well, even though you didn't even see them when I put the wig on, but it's fine. Now I'm going to go in with my Marc Jacobs eyeliner. I know some of you are probably like, Marc Jacobs, why would you waste a Marc Jacobs eyeliner on a Halloween look? It's a great question. Personally, I just don't use black eyeliner in my waterline ever, so I didn't really have another use for it, so I figured now is as good a time as any. I'm just going to go in and outline all of the parts that need to be filled in black, and I'm just slightly blending it in, and we're going to go over it with some black eyeshadow and black paint later on just to darken it up. Now I'm going in with this face paint palette that I bought off Amazon. It's from, I think, Artiparty it's called, and I was pointing to the two sides. Those are filled with glitter, but I didn't use those. So here we're just filling in all of the pieces that belong in black, and I actually did have to go over it multiple times because it wasn't coming up as dark as I would have liked it to. This palette is water-based, so I think I was putting too much water in, which is what was making it not as thick as I wanted it to be. I actually just sniffed the paint there. Yeah, that wasn't fun. Painting your nose is definitely not fun. You'll see in a minute here that I got kind of annoyed with my nose. Again, I guess I put too much water in, so I had to keep going over it to make it darker and darker to the point where I was happy. So here I actually started to make some of the cracks, but I realized it was too soon. So we just had one crack and we'll draw the rest in later. And now I'm just moving on to my eyes. We're going to draw on the sockets. I did try to darken it up as much as I could with the paint, but we do go in with some black eyeshadow again later on to darken it up, and we also go in with some brown eyeshadow to try and give it a little bit of depth. So right now it's just like the outlining process and making sure everything's in the right place and looks the right way. And then later on we'll go in and shade everything. The key here also was to kind of rub the brush in between your eyebrow hairs so there wasn't any light skin showing, because otherwise it wouldn't look as real, because skulls don't have eyebrows, and I personally didn't feel like gluing mine down and losing half of my eyebrows hairs. So now we're going to go in with the Morphe 350 palette, which I've used in previous tutorials. I'm just taking dark chocolate brown, and we're going to try and make some more depth in the eyes. The nice thing about this is you don't have to be very precise. mean, obviously you want to keep it within the outlines, but it doesn't have to look perfect. So here we're just taking a black shadow that I had in a random palette. I think it was by the Crown, the Glam Metals. We're basically going over the brown that we just put down, but not entirely. You still want that brown to peek through as like kind of an ombre, so you want it to blend in the closer you get to your eye socket. Really the key is just to blend and blend and blend. This whole look actually took me like 2 hours, which was super fun when I had to take it off. Here I'm also taking some of that black shadow just to shade in around my forehead, and we're also going back over all the spots that we laid the paint down to set it, because it wasn't dark enough and I wasn't going to put a translucent powder over it since I wanted more depth. So we're just going to use the eyeshadow to darken up the paint. And now we're finally onto the teeth. So I don't really know the point of drawing out the lines. It's like the definition between your teeth, but I don't know. It's basically just a guide for you to be able to see where to draw your teeth. And the teeth aren't hard. I kind of start out with just drawing the lines across the whole mouth. Wow, white paint on your lips is not a good look. Those crusty, not a fan of this look. I don't know how people wear like white lipstick, especially white matte lipstick. Anyways, so for the teeth, it's kind of like when you think like a Hershey's Kiss, like that kind of shape. And you kind of just slowly drag it up, and you want the farthest part from the mouth to be like the lightest, because you want it to just kind of fade away. So once you draw in all the Hershey Kisses, you kind of just go over it constantly to try and darken them up. I kind of did it light the first time just to get the outline. So here you want to darken in between all the teeth, and then I used whatever was left over on the brush from the black shadow to blend it out. But as you can see, I'm basically getting like a blue mustache, which made me hate that look so much. Later on I do go over it with some more of that white paint to try and take it away. So now we're going in with the Norvina palette by Anastasia Beverly Hills. I took the shadow Love, and we're kind of just outlining all of the shadows. And now we're going in with Soul, and we're going to do the same exact thing, but we're going to keep that closer to all the black parts. So like Love, the pink shade, is what's going to be our blending shade. And as always, if you ever make a mistake, you could just go back over with the brush from the white paint and try and fix it. Now we're taking my NYX Ultimate palette, and we're just going to take a little bit more of the hot pinks, only because Love from the Anastasia palette wasn't doing it enough for me, so I wanted to make it a little more vibrant. And now we're taking my contour palette, and we're going to do some more shading on the actual face. It's basically kind of the spots you would naturally contour. And then I took the contour looking shade from the palette, also from the Norvina palette, to darken up the shading. And now we're moving on to the cracks, which are super easy. Basically just drawing lines all over your face. There's no precise way to do it. So then I grabbed a new clean brush and some more white paint to do some more highlighting around those shadows, and to brighten up the teeth because they were a little dull. And I actually took the white paint and I made it an eyeliner. I am not entirely sure how safe this palette is around your eyes. I'm assuming it's safe because it's a face paint palette, but that was a terrible assumption to make. Same goes for the glitter that I'm going to use in a couple minutes, or just kidding, right now. This is craft glitter. I do not recommend you putting this on your eyes, but my cousin gave me this Martha Stewart glitter and I fell in love with the color, and so I decided to use it for this look. But again, don't recommend. I mean, it didn't hurt when I took it off, but it's definitely not meant for your face. So I just take the NYX glitter primer to help the glitter have something to stick to. And I put this on my eyelids, the tip of my nose, and my cheekbones. So basically everywhere you would normally highlight your face. And when you're patting that glitter glue on the skin, you definitely want to do it in a patting motion instead of a swiping motion. The swiping motion probably would have taken off the white paint. I'm also sticking some glitter in the sockets and the cheeks. And of course I'm using my favorite Ardell Wispies for lashes. And then I'm just coating my bottom lashes with my Maybelline Total Temptation mascara, which is my favorite mascara ever. In case you guys are new and didn't know, because it's what I say in every single one of my past videos. I use the color blackish brown, in case you wanted to know. And then this is the wig that I bought off Amazon. It's actually still braided from being Daenerys Targaryen last year. I was super surprised that the braids were still in. But yeah, and then I just finished painting the rest of my neck, and this is the final look. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. As always, don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!